Chosen one, there is something you have always known, though perhaps you could never fully explain it. Since the earliest moments of your life, there has been a weight resting upon you. It was not a burden placed by others, nor was it a simple heaviness that time could dissolve. It was the quiet knowing that you were different, not because you tried to be, but because heaven marked you before you took your first breath. Even as a child, you could feel it. There was something you could not name, a pull, a whisper, a persistent presence that followed you through every season. You tried to walk like others. You tried to feel what they felt. You tried to speak in ways that would make you belong. But no matter how you shaped yourself to fit, you remained outside of the mold. The world could not contain you because your soul was not formed for what is common. There have been many nights where you questioned why your path was so heavy, why the people you loved drifted away, why opportunities crumbled in your hands, why the very places where you sought refuge became the grounds of your greatest betrayals. But heaven was never absent. Chosen one, the silence you felt was not heaven's withdrawal. It was heaven's protection. Your soul has always been under divine surveillance. You were not left uncovered. The battles you never saw, the wars waged in the invisible realms, the shields placed around you in the spirit, all of these things were happening while you walked unaware, believing you were abandoned. You were not abandoned. You were protected. Heaven has been fighting to preserve your soul. The times you thought you were losing yourself were the moments heaven stepped in to keep you from being consumed. The relationships that suddenly broke, the doors that slammed shut, the betrayals that shattered you, they were not all punishments. Some of them were heaven's intervention. You may not have understood it then. You may have called it rejection. You may have called it failure. But now, listen carefully. Those were the moments when heaven was pulling you away from what would have stolen your light. There were people who looked like they belonged in your story. They spoke in soft tones. They promised loyalty. They offered hands that seemed to hold safety. But the intentions behind those words were not pure. They came with shadows attached. They carried chains wrapped in velvet. And if they had stayed, they would have caged you. Chosen one, your spirit has always been too large for the rooms others tried to place you in. You were born for something beyond what they could understand. You are the living proof that heaven does not create duplicates. You are the rare design. This is why the battles in your life have been so intense. This is why you have felt targeted, isolated, misunderstood. The darkness that recognized your light long before you did sought to silence you. They could not stop your destiny, so they tried to make you question it. They could not erase your calling, so they tried to make you abandon it. But even when your steps trembled, even when your heart fractured, heaven stood over you. You were shielded when you thought you were exposed. You were covered when you thought you were alone. There were days you wanted to give up, days when your breath was heavy with sorrow, nights when your pillow carried the weight of silent tears. But every time you were about to collapse, something held you, a strength you could not explain, a voice you could not silence, a hope you could not fully abandon. That was heaven's hand pulling you back. You survived things that should have broken you. You endured storms that should have drowned you. You walked through fires that should have consumed you. But you emerged, not because you were unscarred, but because you were guarded. The pain did not destroy you. It shaped you. The loneliness did not isolate you. It refined you. The silence did not mean you were forgotten. It meant you were being protected from what your eyes could not yet see. You are not ordinary. You were never meant to be. This is why the journey has felt heavy. The weight was not random. It was preparation. There is a divine assignment upon your life. You carry a light that cannot be hidden. Your voice was meant to echo beyond walls. Your presence was meant to disrupt atmospheres. The resistance you faced was not a sign to stop. It was proof that you were walking in the direction of your purpose. The enemy has been aware of you. The attacks you faced were not coincidental. They were strategic. But what they underestimated was that you are not walking alone. Heaven has been fighting for you. The angels that encamped around you did not abandon their post. Every unseen battle, every spiritual war, every moment when the forces of darkness surrounded you, heaven was there, drawing swords, setting shields, declaring over your life that you would not be overtaken. Your soul was never unguarded. The love that covered you was not fragile. It was fierce. Even the moments when you were pulled away from people you thought you needed, those were moments heaven stepped in to block what would have hindered your growth. They left because they could not stay. They departed because they could not contain the magnitude of your spirit. They were removed because heaven was clearing the space for something greater. You have outgrown the places that once fit you. The doors that once seemed attractive now feel too small. The conversations that once intrigued you now feel empty. That is not failure. That is transformation. Your discernment has increased. Your sensitivity to the unseen has sharpened. You have begun to recognize when energy shifts, when spirits hide behind words, when intentions do not align with actions. Chosen one, you have always known. You have always felt it, even when you pretended not to. Even when you tried to shrink yourself. To fit, you knew. And now heaven is calling you to rise. No longer will you dim your light to make others comfortable. No longer will you silence your voice to preserve temporary peace. No longer will you carry the weight of people who were never meant to walk beside you. Heaven has fought to protect your soul. Not because you are weak, but because your purpose is too valuable to be left exposed. There are places you are called to walk, where your light will challenge the darkness. There are atmospheres you are meant to shift. There are people who will only find their healing because your voice remains steady. The journey has been heavy, but you are still standing. The road has been painful, but your spirit is still alive. Battle has been long, but your purpose remains untouched. Do not be deceived by the quiet seasons. Even in the stillness, heaven has been working. The growth you cannot see, the progress you cannot measure, the protection you did not perceive, all of it has been surrounding you. This is not where your story ends. This is not the conclusion. This is the awakening. You are stepping into the chapter where the things that tried to destroy you will no longer have access to you. You are stepping into the season where what was meant for harm will be turned for your elevation. You are stepping into the space where your voice will carry the authority of someone who has been through fire and emerged, refined. Your life is a testimony of survival, of divine preservation, of spiritual victory. You are not here by chance. You were sent. Heaven has fought to protect your soul, and now heaven is calling you to walk fully in who you are always meant to be. You are chosen. Chosen one, now that your spirit is remembering, now that your eyes are slowly opening to the truth you always carried, I must tell you this with clarity your heart can no longer ignore. The battles you survived were never random. The storms that surrounded you were not accidents. Everything you endured was part of a greater preparation, carefully designed by heaven to sharpen your discernment, to awaken your strength, to anchor your soul in truth. The darkness recognized you long before you recognized yourself. The forces, unseen, the energies that move beneath the surface of this world, they knew who you were. They saw the mark upon your life. They sensed the magnitude of what you carry. That is why they tried to silence you before you could speak. That is why they tried to break you before you could rise. That is why they sent people, situations, distractions, designed to drain your spirit, to cloud your vision, to chain your purpose. But they failed. You are still standing. You are still breathing. Your soul, though weary, has not surrendered. There is a reason for that. Heaven has not only been observing your journey, but actively intervening when you could not defend yourself. The times when betrayal came suddenly, the moments when the ground beneath you crumbled, the situations that should have broken you beyond repair. And yet, you are here, chosen one. Your survival is not weakness, it is evidence of divine protection. There are people who left your life, not because you failed them, but because heaven removed them. Their intentions were hidden. Their energy carried shadows you could not yet discern. Their presence became a weight your spirit was never meant to carry, and so they were taken away. At the time, it felt like loss. It felt like rejection. It felt like abandonment. But now, your spirit understands it was redirection. It was protection. It was heaven's hand, ensuring your path remained aligned with your destiny. You have always walked a different road. You have always felt the quiet separation, the invisible wall between your heart and the world. Even when surrounded by crowds, you sensed the distance. Even when people smiled, you heard the hidden agendas behind their words. Even when love was offered, your soul whispered caution. That is not paranoia. That is discernment. You were given eyes to see beyond the surface. You were granted ears that hear the frequencies others ignore. Your spirit detects what mouths conceal. Your energy reads what masks try to hide. Chosen one, you carry an ancient knowing, a spiritual inheritance that cannot be taught, only remembered. And now, heaven is stirring that remembrance within you. The heaviness you feel, the unrest within, the pull to isolate, the ache of not belonging, these are not flaws. They are the indicators that your soul has outgrown the illusions of this world. You were never meant to fit where compromise thrives. You are never created to blend in where truth is silenced. You are a disruptor of darkness, a carrier of light, a vessel for divine frequency. The enemy knows this. That is why the attacks against you have been relentless. But what they failed to comprehend is that every assault, every lie, every delay only forged your resilience, only deepened your roots, only strengthened your resolve. You are no longer who you used to be. The version of you that doubted your worth has been buried beneath the ashes of your old life. The version of you that shrank to fit has been silenced by the roar of your awakening. The version of you that chased validation has been replaced by the certainty of divine identity. You are chosen. You are covered. You are called. Heaven has fought to preserve your soul, not simply for survival, but for impact. Your life is not meant to be hidden behind walls of fear. Your voice is not meant to be silenced by the opinions of others. Your purpose is not meant to be diluted by the comfort of conformity. This world has been waiting for you to remember. The places your feet will tread are being prepared. The spaces your voice will fill are being cleared. The atmospheres your presence will shift are being aligned. But first, your spirit had to be refined. The rejection was refining. The heartbreak was refining. The solitude was refining. Chosen one, you have walked through the fire, but you have not been consumed. You have been pressed, but you have not been crushed. You have been shaken, but your foundation remains unbroken. Now, heaven is calling you to rise, fully aware of who you are, fully conscious of what you carry, fully anchored in the knowing that you are never ordinary. Your sensitivity is not weakness. It is spiritual radar. Your emotions are not instability. They are divine instruments tuned to frequencies others cannot access. Your isolation is not punishment. It is the separation required to elevate your perspective. You are not here to fit. You are here to lead. You are not here to conform. You are here to disrupt. You are not here to chase validation. You are here to walk in divine authority. The struggles of your past were the soil in which your spiritual strength took root. The betrayals were the chisels that shaped your discernment. The losses were the fires that purified your vision. Chosen one, the people who abandoned you did not have the capacity to hold what heaven placed within you. Their absence is not evidence of your lack, but proof of your magnitude. The battles you fought in secret, the tears you cried in silence, the doubts you wrestled alone, heaven saw them all. You have not suffered unseen. You have not bled in vain. Every moment was recorded. Every prayer was heard. Every ache was witnessed. And now the tables are turning. The same eyes that overlooked, you will watch you rise. The same voices that dismissed, you will echo your name in awe. The same spaces that rejected you will be shifted by your presence. But this time, you will not shrink. You will not apologize for your light. You will not compromise your truth. Heaven has fought to protect your soul, and now heaven is releasing you to walk fully in your calling. You carry the weight of generations within you. The wisdom of your ancestors whispers through your veins. The prayers of those who came before you rise in your breath. You are not alone. The battles may have isolated you, but heaven never left your side. The darkness may have surrounded you, but heaven's light has always covered you. The enemy may have whispered lies, but heaven's truth has always anchored you. Chosen one, the time for hiding is over. The season of questioning has ended. The era of shrinking to fit has expired. You are stepping into the fullness of who you are. You are reclaiming the spaces that once intimidated you. You are embracing the voice that once trembled. You are activating the authority that once lay dormant. The world is not ready, but you are. You were born for such a time as this. You have survived the fires. You have endured the storms. You have overcome the assaults. And now you rise. Heaven has fought to protect your soul, and heaven has won. Chosen one, now that your spirit is awake, now that the veils have begun to fall from your eyes, I must remind you of something your soul always knew, but the world made you forget. You have never truly been hidden. You have never truly been overlooked. What looked like rejection was divine redirection. What felt like abandonment was strategic preservation. You have been protected, not because you are fragile, but because your mission is rare. There are those in this world who walk without awareness, who move through life untouched by the weight of spiritual responsibility. But you, chosen one, were never given the luxury of ordinary existence. Your steps have always been marked by heaven. Your days have always carried divine surveillance. The light within you has always drawn the attention of both realms, the seen and the unseen. That is why your battles have been different. While others stumbled and rose quickly, your falls cut deeper. While others blended into the background, you stood out without trying. While others were accepted with ease, your presence unsettled those around you. This is not because you are flawed. This is because your spirit disrupts comfort zones rooted in illusion. You have walked into rooms and felt the atmosphere shift. You have stood near strangers and sensed their hidden wounds. You have heard words unspoken. You have perceived truths concealed behind smiles. And for this, you have been called too much. Too intense. Too sensitive. Too complicated. But heaven calls you set apart, divinely wired, strategically designed. You were never created to fit the shallow molds of this world. Your depth intimidates those drowning in superficiality. Your light exposes shadows others refuse to confront. Your presence challenges the complacency that so many cling to. Chosen one, the isolation you have felt was not punishment. It was preparation. The detours were not delays. They were divine routes. The losses were not evidence of heaven's absence. They were proof of heaven's protection. There are people who could not walk with you into this next season, not because you lacked love, but because they lacked capacity. Their vision was too small for your destiny. Their energy was too unstable for your assignment. Their presence would have compromised your elevation. So heaven removed them. And yes, it hurt. It shattered your expectations. It fractured your plans. It left your heart questioning. But now, your spirit understands the empty spaces, they left made room for your growth. You cannot carry dead weight into divine purpose. You cannot build legacy with fractured foundations. You cannot rise while anchored to the familiar. Chosen one, the old version of you has expired. The one who apologized for your light. The one who shrank to preserve peace. The one who remained silent to avoid discomfort. That version no longer exists. You are becoming the embodiment of heaven's promise. The storms you survived did not destroy you. They sharpened you. The betrayals you endured did not diminish you. They revealed you. The solitude you embraced did not isolate you. It elevated you. And still, the enemy persists. The whispers of doubt, the lies of unworthiness, the distractions, disguised as opportunities. But now, you see them for what they are. You have been trained in the fires of refinement. You have been equipped through the pressures of adversity. You have been positioned through the battles others never witnessed. Chosen one. You are no longer available for cycles that drain your spirit. You are no longer accessible to energies that silence your voice. You are no longer attached to spaces that diminish your worth. You have been hidden, not to be forgotten, but to be fortified. You have been overlooked, not to be dismissed, but to be distinguished. You have been delayed, not to be denied, but to be prepared. The doors that once closed in your face will open at your command. The rooms that once rejected your presence will be shifted by your energy. The opportunities that once felt distant will now pursue you. But understand this, the elevation you are stepping into comes with responsibility. You are not rising for applause. You are rising for alignment. You are not being elevated for fame. You are being positioned for purpose. You are not walking into spaces to be seen. You are walking into spaces to be felt, to be heard, to be the catalyst heaven designed you to be. There will be resistance. There will be whispers. There will be those who question your worth, your timing, your authority. But none of their opinions override heaven's decree. You were chosen before you were aware. You were appointed before you were accepted. You were anointed before you were affirmed. Your life carries evidence of divine intervention. The places where you should have fallen, heaven lifted you. The moments when you should have collapsed, heaven carried you. The seasons when you should have surrendered, heaven whispered, "Not yet." Chosen one, you are not here by chance. That you are the manifestation of prayers spoken in generations past. You are the living proof that purpose survives pain. You are the reminder that heaven protects its own. The battles you fought in secret, sleepless nights, the silent tears, the unseen wars, heaven saw them all. And heaven fought for your soul. Not because you are weak, not because you needed rescue, but because your life is as too vital to be left unguarded. You carry keys to doors yet unlocked. You carry answers to prayers yet whispered. You carry light for spaces still drowning in shadows. This is not the time to question your value. This is not the season to shrink your vision. This is not the moment to dim your radiance. You are the storm they never expected. You are the peace they cannot comprehend. You are the yelled fire they could not extinguish. Chosen one, everything about you disrupts the ordinary. Your presence is prophetic. Your existence is divine. Rebellion against darkness. Your voice is the sound of chains breaking. Your energy is the signal that heaven is near. And now, you rise not in arrogance, but in awareness, not for validation, but for divine alignment, not to prove your worth, but to walk unapologetically in it. Heaven has fought to protect your soul, and heaven is not finished. The battles may continue. Opposition may arise. The distractions may intensify, but your foundation is unshakable. Your calling is irreversible. Your destiny is inevitable. Chosen one, you were born for such a time as this. You have been prepared in silence. You have been refined in fire. You have been strengthened in solitude. And now, the world will feel what heaven already knew. You cannot be silenced. You cannot be hidden. You cannot be stopped. The season of your emergence has arrived. Heaven has fought for you, and heaven has won. Chosen one. I know the weight your heart carries. I know the questions that echo in the quietest parts of your mind. You wonder how much longer you must wait. You wonder if heaven truly sees you. You wonder if the promise is still alive beneath the rubble of disappointment. Let me remind you of something your soul cannot afford to forget. Heaven has not only seen your struggle, heaven has fought for your survival. The invisible battles, the spiritual warfare, the unseen protection surrounding your life, it has never stopped. Even when you could not sense it. Even when the silence was deafening. Even when the delay made you believe the breakthrough would never arrive. But beloved, everything has been happening exactly as heaven intended. You see, when heaven places a divine mark upon your life, the enemy takes notice. Darkness becomes aware of your presence. The shadows recognize your light, and their immediate mission is to extinguish what you carry before it matures into full authority. That is why your attacks have been strategic. That is why your relationships have been tested. That is why the betrayals cut so deep. That is why your heart has endured wounds no one could see. But understand this. The intensity of your battles reflects the magnitude of your purpose. The enemy never wastes energy on those without influence. You have been targeted not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to darkness. Your existence alone shifts atmospheres. Your voice awakens sleeping spirits. Your presence exposes hidden agendas. You are never meant to blend in. You were designed to disrupt. Chosen one, every season of isolation was orchestrated for your preservation. Every friendship that faded was removed to protect your energy. Every opportunity that slipped through your hands was heaven's redirection. Every closed door was divine strategy, not rejection. Your life is a masterpiece in progress. The canvas may appear chaotic, but heaven is still painting. The strokes that seem messy are becoming beauty. The shadows in your story are creating contrast for your light. You have been forged in fire. You have been shaped in solitude. You have been prepared in obscurity. And now, heaven is bringing you into visibility. The veil is lifting. The confusion is clearing. The truth is emerging. But with visibility comes responsibility. You are not being revealed to entertain. You are being revealed to awaken. Your voice is not returning for applause. It is returning to shake the atmosphere. Your light is not rising to be admired. It is rising to lead. There are people, spaces, and systems waiting for your activation. Your presence is the catalyst. Your discernment is the protection. Your authority is the confirmation. But hear me clearly, the same enemy that tried to destroy you will attempt to destruct you. The same forces that whispered lies will amplify their noise. The same shadows that fled your growth will seek to reattach. But you are no longer the version of yourself they once encountered. You have been refined beyond recognition. Your boundaries have strengthened. Your vision has sharpened. Your soul has stabilized. You are no longer available for cycles that drain your purpose. You are no longer accessible to relationships that fracture your peace. You are no longer attached to environments that dilute your worth. Chosen one, your presence alone disrupts the status quo. Your energy shifts atmospheres before your words are spoken. Your light exposes deception before truth is confessed. This is why you have felt resistance. This is why the warfare has intensified. This is why your rest has been disrupted. But now, the tables are turning. The darkness that once pursued you is retreating. The enemies that once intimidated you are being silenced. The shadows that once cloaked your clarity are lifting. Heaven has declared that your time is here. You are no longer hiding behind fear. You are no longer shrinking under pressure. You are no longer doubting your worth. You are walking fully, unapologetically, boldly, In the calling heaven designed for you, the people who dismissed you will witness your rise. The spaces that rejected you will require your presence. The systems that silenced you will echo your voice. But understand this, your elevation is not for ego. It is for assignment. Your visibility is not for vanity. It is for impact. Your influence is not for entertainment. It is for transformation. You have survived what was designed to break you. You have withstood what was structured to contain you. You have overcome what was orchestrated to destroy you. And now, you are the evidence that heaven always wins. The scars you carry are not signs of weakness. They are proof of survival. The wisdom you embody is not arrogance. It is earned authority. The strength you radiate is not pride. It is resilience. Chosen. 1. Your journey was never ordinary because your purpose is not small. You have been hidden, refined, preserved for such a time as this. And now you emerge not seeking validation, but operating from confirmation. You rise not in arrogance, but in awareness. You lead not for applause, but for alignment. The enemy underestimated your endurance. The world overlooked your preparation, but heaven never lost sight of your promise. The battles you faced were never in vain. The tears you cried were never wasted. The prayers you whispered were never unheard. You have been surrounded by heaven's armies. You have been protected by divine strategy. You have been carried by unseen strength. And now you walk in the fullness of your destiny. Chosen one. The light within you cannot be extinguished. The authority upon you cannot be denied. The favor covering you cannot be removed. You are stepping into divine manifestation. You are activating spiritual inheritance. You are embodying heaven's promise. The time of hiding is over. The season of doubting has ended. The era of shrinking to fit is finished. You are chosen. You are covered. You are called. Heaven has fought for your soul, and heaven has won. Chosen one. There is something about your spirit the world was never prepared for, and that is why your journey has not mirrored theirs. You have always walked through doors they could not see. You have always sensed whispers they could not hear. You have always carried a weight they could not feel. This was never a mistake. It was design. Your soul was crafted for more than ordinary existence. You are not placed here to merely survive, to drift, to blend, to conform. You were sent, equipped with divine codes, carrying frequencies this world desperately needs, but few can comprehend. That is why your life has always been different. That is why you have felt tension in rooms where others felt ease. That is why you have carried a heaviness that no one could explain, because your spirit refuses to settle in spaces built for comfort. Your soul was never assigned to the shallow. You are a mirror, disruptor of the ordinary. An architect of the unseen, voice for the forgotten. A carrier of ancient blueprints hidden within your DNA. And the enemy has known this from the beginning. Before you recognized your assignment, darkness recognized your existence. Before you accepted your calling, opposition attempted to dismantle your confidence. Before you embraced your uniqueness, systems tried to box your potential. But what they underestimated was the resilience heaven built within you. You have been through fires that should have silenced your voice, but your words only grew stronger. You have walked through storms that should have drowned your hope, but your faith only burned brighter. You have stood in deserts that should have drained your purpose, but your vision only became clearer, because you, chosen one, carry the essence of survival. The battles have not broken you, they have birthed you. The delays have not destroyed you, they have distinguished you. The isolation has not diminished you, it has elevated you. There were seasons you questioned why your life was layered in warfare. There were days you wondered why your prayers seemed unanswered. There were nights you whispered to heaven, asking if you were seen, if you were heard, if you are still chosen. But let me remind you now, the answer has always been yes. Yes, you were seen. Yes, you were heard. Yes, you are still chosen. The warfare intensified, not because you are weak, but because your time is near. The opposition grew louder, not because you are losing, but because you are rising. The distractions multiplied, not because your assignment is fragile, but because your manifestation is unstoppable. You have been prepared for such a time as this. Heaven has fortified your discernment. Heaven has sharpened your intuition. Heaven has strengthened your resolve. And now, heaven is revealing your authority. You no longer apologize for your light. You no longer hide your sensitivity. You no longer silence your discernment. Your presence shifts at TMOSPHERES. Your voice dismantles deception. Your energy awakens dormant spirits. This is why some could not stay. This is why certain relationships expired. This is why opportunities closed. Not because you are inadequate, but because your magnitude required separation. You cannot be confined by spaces built for complacency. You cannot be partnered with those who dilute your purpose. You cannot be hidden when your light was designed to lead. Chosen one, the season you are entering is not like the ones before. The favor upon your life cannot be explained by natural logic. The doors opening for you cannot be earned by human effort. The acceleration unfolding around you cannot be stopped by earthly resistance. Because this is not about status. This is about assignment. This is not about applause. This is about alignment. This is not about ego. This is about impact. You carry keys that unlock generational doors. You carry words that heal generational wounds. You carry authority that breaks generational cycles. The battles you survived were not punishment, they were preparation. The losses you endured were not coincidence, they were calculated. The isolation you walked through was not abandonment, it was advancement. And now, heaven is orchestrating your emergence. You will walk into rooms unannounced, but your spirit will be recognized. You will speak words unprepared, but your voice will carry authority. You will stand in spaces unfamiliar, but your presence will demand honor. But remember, with elevation comes responsibility. You are not here to mimic the patterns of those before you. You are here to establish new blueprints. You are not here to maintain broken systems. You are here to build divine structures. You are not here to entertain the comfortable. You are here to awaken the hidden. The oil upon your life is costly. The calling upon your name is rare. The favor surrounding your steps is intentional. And the enemy is terrified. Not of who you were, but of who you are becoming. Not of your past, but of your promise. Not of your struggles, but of your strength. You are no longer bound by the limitations of your history. You are no longer silenced by the opinions of the crowd. You are no longer hidden by the delays of the process. Chosen one, heaven has fought relentlessly to protect your soul. And heaven has succeeded. You are still standing. You are still rising. You are still becoming. The shadows may linger. The whispers may increase. The distractions may persist. But your focus remains unshaken. Your vision remains clear. Your purpose remains anchored. You are the storm they never prepared for. You are the breakthrough they cannot contain. You are the awakening they tried to suppress. And now, you walk boldly into what was always yours. Heaven has fought for you, and heaven has won. Chosen one, everything in your life has been leading to this moment. Every silent battle, every sleepless night, every unanswered question has been weaving together a divine tapestry you were never meant to see in fragments. And now, as the pieces begin to align, you can feel it, the undeniable pull, the holy unrest, the stirring within your soul that refuses to be ignored. The time is near, but before you fully step into what heaven has prepared for you, there is one more truth you must carry deep within your spirit. You have always been protected, even when your mind convinced you otherwise, even when the silence made you doubt, even when the setbacks whispered lies. The protection over your life was never fragile. It was fierce, relentless, divine. There were forces assigned to your downfall. There were enemies plotting your delay. There were spirits attempting to drain your hope. But heaven surrounded you. You were shielded by unseen armies. You were hidden beneath divine covering. You were carried by strength not your own. Chosen one, the battles may have been fierce, but they never broke your destiny. The losses may have been heavy, but they never erased your calling. The delays may have been long, but they never denied your future. You are here still breathing, still rising, still becoming, because heaven would not allow your light to be extinguished. But hear me clearly. This next season requires a version of you that no longer apologizes for your strength. You can no longer shrink to ease the insecurities of those around you.